Hello, welcome to another edition of Modern Retro Review, where I review modern games for retro systems or retro games for modern systems. And this is pretty much the definition of a modern game for a retro system, because this is the Commodore 64 version of the game Portal. Portal was originally released for the PC and the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and it's a great game. I love it. I actually love the sequel even more. Portal 2 is one of my favourite games on modern consoles for sure. So this is a Commodore 64 interpretation, a demake if you will, of that game. And as you can see from the instructions here, there is the option to play it using the mouse, but I don't have one, so I'm going to be using the joystick. You also have to use a bunch of keyboard commands. I will get into that in a moment. The game was coded by Jamie Fuller. The graphics were by Del Seymour, music by Roy Widding, as you can see from this title screen here. And this is available as a free download, because obviously all the copyright belongs to Valve Corporation, who originally created the game for those modern systems. You can get it from archive.org, the original version. I'll put a link to that in the pinned comment, as I always do on these videos. There's also a cracked version available, or several cracked versions in fact, available on CSDB, including one that incorporates the PAL and NTSC versions of the game into one file. That's the version I'm actually using here, because the original one I think was NTSC only. So I'll put a link to that in the pinned comment, but let's now have a look at the help documents for this. This is basically it. So it tells you what the controls are. Movement is controlled by using the keyboard, so you control the play with the keyboard. You then control the portal gun with either a mouse or a joystick. I'm going to be using a joystick because I don't have a mouse. There's a few other commands there which I don't really need to get into. You can see them there on the screen. If you play it yourself, you'll know yourself when you play it. So let's move back to the title screen. You can also enter level codes to get to the later levels without having to play through the early ones if you've played some of it before. What I'm gonna do is play through probably the first 3 or 4 levels and then move on to some of the later levels to show some of the more complex puzzles. So let's get the game started. So when you start the game, you begin with an introduction. You can see GLaDOS or GLaDOS, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, the computer that controls the portal rooms. If you're familiar with the original game, you'll know all this stuff of course, but let's assume some of you aren't. So she, because she is a she, or she's got a female voice in the original game, gives you an introduction. Welcome to the Aperture Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center. Please proceed to the chamber lock, mind the gaps. So then you press E, which is the action button, to skip that, and you get the first screen. So clearly this wasn't going to be a 3D game, it's a 2D representation of the 3D game. So just to show you, A and D move your character left and right, W jumps, E is an action button which you don't use in this particular one, and you can control the portal gun. You can see the little cursor here. There's no purpose to it in this particular level. You control that with the joystick. You press fire to fire a portal. We'll get to that in due course. So the first thing you've got to do on this first level is just jump across these trampolines, jump over the water and get through the exit. The exit's always denoted by an arrow pointing towards it. So I'm just going to jump onto this platform, this trampoline, jump over to the next trampoline and the next one, and away I go into the second stage. That was nice and easy. As with the original game, it introduces you to the concepts of the game slowly with the first few stages. So here you can see it mentions the weighted storage cube, which will be delivered on demand. We'll get into that in a moment. You press E to activate or carry things. So let's move on to this level. So same sort of idea, you can move around, and if I stand on this button here, the door will open, but as soon as I walk off it, of course, the door closes. So if you go to this button here, press the button with the action key, and that drops a cube. This is again recreating what was in the original game. Drop the cube on the button there, and that keeps the door open, and I can walk into the next stage. So this now tells you about the portal gun. So you've got the portal gun. With it you can create your own portals. On it goes. Could do with typing this text a little bit faster, but there you go. Portals can only materialize on light grey blocks. Excuse me. So you can see an exit portal's already there on the other side of this block. So yeah, as it said, you can only put portals into these light grey sections. So I'm going to just fire a blue portal there. You can now see there's an entry and exit portal. Blue ones, well, you can go through them either way, but basically typically blue ones materialize first, then the orange ones. So basically you can use that to walk through the portal. I can go back through if I want. So very cleverly done on the Commodore 64, implementing the concept of the portal gun, very similar to the original game, although without the 3D aspect. So anyway, I can go through there and exit out of the level, and job's a good one. I'm on to the next one. So it does recreate some of the text and dialogue, if you like, from the original game. Talking about Cake here, Cake and Grief Counselling will be available at the end of the test. Don't step in front of those turret guns. So here we go, just to show you what happens when you do step. Oh, I'm not going to actually. Yeah, let's do it anyway. Yeah, so there is a way to get around this, but I'm just going to show what happens when you die on this occasion. So let's get a block, because I'm going to need a block anyway. Drop the block on here. Ooh. If I now drop down here in front of this thing, oh, it's actually firing the other way, but if I drop it here, it'll shoot me. There we go. So yeah, not great. And it resets the level and you go again. So what do I actually need to do here? So I'm going to have to, yeah, definitely going to need the block. Pick the block up. It is a bit awkward using the keys to control your character, but obviously you need the joystick for the guns, and that's the decision that they made. So as I've already seen, I can actually drop down here this side and it's shooting the opposite direction. So what I need to do is put a portal in the ceiling. This shows the sort of three-dimensional aspect of the portal gun, where you can go in it leftwards and just drop down like that and drop through the exit. There we go. So I'll play through one more and then I'll skip to later in the game to show some of the more complex puzzles. So it says, frankly, this chamber was a mistake. If we were you, we would quit now. So let's have a look at this one. So we've got a portal gun. Sorry, we've got the turret on the right hand side there with a block next to it. We've got a portal down at the bottom. We've got a portal at the top there, and we've got a button there, which if I drop on that, I suspect that gun's going to fire at me. So I think the idea is you avoid that. Drop down here, fire the portal gun into this section in the ceiling here, and then run through the portal here, drop down, and away we go to the exit. And there we go. So please be advised that a noticeable taste of blood is not part of any protocol. Let's just have a quick look at this one. So this one, we've got a couple of doors which obviously open. So again, yeah, it's going to be fairly straightforward. You drop a block down, pick that up, put it on there, and then that'll open the door. So from this point, I'm going to move on to some of the later stages. I want to show the end of the game, but I don't want to show all the stages, because if you want to play it yourself, you don't want to see how to solve them all. Okay, so moved a couple of stages on, and now it's going to introduce new hazards. Here we've got red walls, as it says here. There's something special about them. You can't go through them, but maybe something else can. So let's move on to this level. So the thing here is that the portal gun can fire through the red walls, but you can't walk through them. So just to prove that, there we go. So I need to what do I need to do? I need to go and step on this thing here first. So just to show that I can fire the portal gun through there, I can then walk through this portal, drop onto that platform there, and that allows me to get the block over to that section over there. Then I need to walk down here, and I now need to go and get the block to switch this door off. So what I'm going to do is fire the blue portal, and by the way, I hadn't mentioned you can use R to switch which option, the blue or orange one, you're going to fire. So currently it's on orange, switch it to blue there, fire the blue portal there, walk through this gap. This is where it gets a bit strange, because you're actually pushing left, but when you come out, if you push left, you'd go straight back through. So you have to be careful doing that. So pick up the block, move it into the other area here, drop the block on here, and out we go. So let's just have a look at this next one. I don't think you're tall enough for this game. Have you tried standing on your tippy toes? So here we've got a portal here and a portal over there, or an area we can shoot a portal, I should say, but clearly I can't reach that one. I can't shoot there because it's blocked by the wall. You can see the gun is sort of exploding on the wall in the middle there where the gap is. Just below it there's a little white explosion noise, or an explosion thing, not a noise. Anyway, animation is the word I was looking for. So what I'm going to do is start here, and clearly what you can do if you time it right is shoot through the gap and put a portal in the wall on the far side there. So at the top there we go. Wasn't too hard really, was it? If you've played the original game, these puzzles are pretty simple, to be honest. They're not too tricky for the most part. There's a couple that involve a little bit of action. The actual puzzles are fairly easy, but in some places you might find you fall through gaps. Anyway, so we'll carry on, see what this next one is. Why do these chambers look strange? You try doing this with just 8 bits. I imagine that's the unique thing to this particular version of the game. That probably wasn't in the original. So that's a quite complex puzzle, but I'm not going to show that one. I'm going to move on again to some of the later ones. So I've moved on, I'm now on stage 13, and this one involves a little bit more platforming action before you actually get to the puzzle section. So you've got to jump across these platforms and fire the portal gun into the ceiling here, and then go all the way back again, and remove this block from here, so that now brings you the floor at the bottom there, and then fire the portal gun again into this wall here, walk through, but now of course there's a turret you can see firing lower down the screen, so if I drop off this side it'll kill me, so I've then got to jump back across here and fall down behind the turret, and then now I can actually go out the exit. But let's talk about the graphics and sound for a moment. So graphics are pretty simplistic, mostly just a variant of grey blocks, but the implementation of the turrets is very similar to the original game, and the cubes and the portals, all very nicely done, and also these images that show you where the exit is, that was all done in the original game. You don't see your character of course for the most part in the original game because it's a first person thing, so they've done an implementation of the character that kind of looks similar. You do kind of see yourself through portals sometimes in the original game, but yeah, basically it's just a little animated female character to represent the character from the original game. So let's move on to the next stage and see what's coming up next. A complimentary death machine will fall from above. Okie dokie. So what have we got here? We've got some removable platforms at the top there. We've got a portal in the ceiling. We've got a portal on the right. We've got a portal on the left, or I should say a wall that I can put a portal into. So I'm not sure what we're doing there, so let's just walk over and see what we get here and play it by ear a little bit. So okay, we've got a turret there, so that's going to cause some problems. We've got a portal on the, I'm not really sure what's going on here. I think I'm going to have to restart this one. I think I've messed this one up straight away, because I think I can't do anything now, surely. Got there, I'm going to get killed, yeah. So let's try again. Interesting. Not really sure, I can't remember how to do this one. Let's try putting a portal in there to start with. Okay, yeah, okay, now I can get out. So if I, yeah, okay, if I pick this up, put it on the button there, fire a portal into this wall, walk through there, I can now fire a portal into the ceiling. This is going to be tricky, so I'm going to need the orange portal. I'm going to need to fire it very much into the right hand side of that section of blocks at the top there, and then I'll run through there, I'll drop onto this platform here, yeah, and then I can just drop down and go to the exit. So you can see it gets a little bit more challenging as things progress, and as you get close to the end of the game, the computer is encouraging you to give up because it doesn't want you to escape. But obviously I'm not going to give up, and this is now level 15, but again I'll skip on a couple more. You can see some portals already created there, that's giving you a hint of how to do this one, but I'm just going to carry on to a couple more levels later and then show you the end of the game. Actually just moved on to the following stage, and you get the iconic phrase from the original game, quit now and cake will be served immediately. You never get to see, as far as I've noticed, the bit where it tells you that the cake is a lie, which is a little bit of a shame. So let's just have a quick look at this level. What have we got here? Oh, this one's fairly easy. Let's just do this quite quickly. All you've got to do here oh no, I've messed that up because I didn't drop the yeah, okay, I'm dead. I forgot to drop the cube off the edge. Okay, yeah, you have to do it this way around, I think. Stand right on the edge, drop the cube, there we go, that drops in front of the turret, and now I can just escape because the cube is blocking the turret firing at me. Green walls are like red walls, only completely different. Okay, so yeah, the difference is green walls you can walk through, but the portal gun won't work, and red walls, as we've seen earlier, you can fire the portal gun through, but you can't walk through them. So this is fairly straightforward. You do a portal in the bottom here, you do an orange portal over here, you then drop through there, pick up the cube, jump back through the portal here. Oh no, go over here and drop that cube on the button to open the door at the top there. Oh, and then I just need to put the orange portal in this, so I need to press R, and yeah, just put the orange portal in the top there, and then when I drop through, I need to go the other side of it really, but when I drop through the blue portal I'll come out of the orange one and escape. So we've only got a couple of levels left, so I may as well just carry on now. Credit where credit's due, you're doing a great job of disappointing me. So here we've got just this is just a platforming thing really. You've got to fire a portal in that thing there, and another orange one in the ceiling there, just drop through, and then it's just a case of jumping from one section to another and out the exit. So pretty straightforward again, only a couple left. The experiment is nearing its conclusion. Yep. So this is level 19, it only goes to level 20. I can't remember how many levels there were in the original game, but yeah, 20, they're pretty easy to get through, to be honest. It's definitely not as challenging as the 3D version, but it is a great implementation. It's a fantastic idea to sort of demake this into a 2D platforming game for the Commodore 64. So what have we got here? We've got okay, a switch there, so we've just got to jump up here, walk through here, fire the portal gun in the wall over there, walk back. Oh, well, that was bad. Yeah, don't fall off that. Let's try again. Okay, let's do it a different way. Fire the blue portal over this side, and then fire the orange portal over this side. And then what we've got to do next through here. Oh no, I need to pick the cube up, drop the cube on the switch, and then basically this is just making sure you land on the exit before the turret gets you, I think. Yeah, there we go. So here we go, the final level. When the testing is over, you will be missed. So here we go, this is the final stage and probably one of the more challenging ones, although again it's not particularly difficult. So once again we've got a switch there that's going to need a cube dropping on it. So the first thing I've got to do is get through to the level below to get a cube. So just drop through here, I guess. There we go, get a cube. The cube's now on the level above, so I need to get the orange portal opened over here. This will pop me out above there so that I can pick the cube up. So then the cube's getting dropped on there. What have I got to do now? Oh yeah, okay, so if I drop through there, I'll come out of here. Remember that I can fire the portal through the red wall, so I now need to basically just put a blue portal here and then walk back across, go out of the orange portal, and then I'm out the exit. And there we go, that's the end of the game. So it doesn't take too long. It is sort of a tribute, and a fairly simple tribute to the original game, but what's great is at the end you get the song from the end of the original game, Still Alive, done as a SID tune, and the lyrics are being played at the top there. It was sang by the computer in the original version, but you get the lyrics for Still Alive being played there. So yeah, and you get the credits for the game as well. So there you go, that was most of Portal for the Commodore 64. Obviously skipped a few levels so you don't see everything, but a really clever implementation or recreation of the 3D game that's obviously really well known on the Commodore 64. Really nicely done, so I love it, it's great. I love the original game, I love this interpretation of it as well. I'd like it if they'd done more levels, or if you could actually maybe create your own levels somehow, that would be great. But it's definitely a really clever interpretation or recreation of that original game, and a fantastic way of bringing a more complex game to the Commodore 64. So that'll do for this video. You don't need to hear the whole of Still Alive, I suspect. So yeah, that'll do for this one. If you've got any comments about the game, if you've played it yourself, played the original or want to play this one, then leave me some comments, and that'll do for this one, as I've said about 4 times already now. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in another modern retro review or any other kind of game review video in the near future. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.